Hey guys, it's Rick with BamAquatics here with another video for you guys. If you hadn't already, go down below and hit that subscribe button. And go ahead and tap that notification bell as well. That way you'll get notified anytime we upload a video here from good old Bama. So today we're going to talk about my shrimp again. We had a shrimp update just a little bit earlier, but this is shrimp update number 2. And the reason for this update is, if you remember from the last video, I'll put that just up here on a little card. If you remember from the last video, we didn't have many shrimplets in the tank. We had the shrimp, in the tank, but we had them in the tanks with guppies. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to split up the shrimp from the guppies and have the shrimp have their own tanks. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how I did that, about catching some of the shrimp and things like that. And then I've also split up the shrimp in the Blue Dream and Black Rose that I had before. So we're going to show you about all those things and maybe some more things along the way. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. A couple of things we needed to have to be able to do this was this specimen container here. This is a Lee's specimen container. This is the small version. They make several versions. I think they make a small and a large actually. This is the small version, so I have this specimen container. And then I also had these nets. I had some regular nets, but these are brine shrimp nets, which are much more fine mesh, which makes it a lot better on the shrimp, with the small size of the shrimp, especially with the shrimplets that I was catching to separate out the Blue Dream and the Black Rose. So there's just a couple of things that I used that maybe you might want to have in your fish room. Just wanted to share that with you, but it's a brine shrimp net. I got these at PetSmart. And then I got the specimen container online. I don't remember where online I ordered this from, but if you just search for Lee's specimen container, you'll be able to find that. So anyway, now we're going to get on with the rest of the video, guys. I've been talking about maybe making some changes about my shrimp breeding process. I have the snowball shrimp in this tank. There's one over here climbing around in the rock. And they're in here with the panda guppies, and they seem to get along okay, but I haven't noticed any shrimplets in this tank. So I'm going to take them and I'm going to split them out. I'm going to separate them out into their own colony, so hopefully I can get some shrimplets out of this colony once I do that. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that, and we'll show you the process, and then we'll show you the finished result. Thanks, guys. Alright guys, I'm not sure if you have ever tried to catch shrimplet, but they do not particularly like to be caught. So I'm going to take out the jello wood, drop it down into where they're going to go. I'm also going to take these lava rocks out. I may put some more back into this tank, but for now I want to clear out everything that I can to make it easier to catch the shrimps. The scrimps. Because it's not a very easy process. As I said, I've done that on another tank, and so I'm also going to take the moss out. See if I can get all the shrimp out of it. Come on guys, let go. Not that big of a deal if the shrimp go into the other tank, but the water temperature is different in the two tanks, so that's the reason I was trying to keep as many of them in this tank as possible. So now I've got lots of fry going crazy and shrimp, so I'm going to try to just catch the shrimp. Well, there's one. Uh-oh. Have to be careful. These guys are almost clear. Get my glasses so I can be sure and see them. surely do not want to be caught. Promise you that. I'm gonna take you to a good home, buddy. Alright, there's one. Two for the price of one that time. There's one up here by this snail. This one up there just seems to... This is a buried female. Doesn't drop the shrimplets. Hope not. In there. Okay. There's another one right here. Come on up this way. Alright, so I'm going to continue this process and we'll come back and we'll show you what happens when I'm done. So I'm just floating this specimen container here in the new tank because the tank temperatures are several degrees different, so I'm going to let them acclimate here for a little bit. Let's see, this tank temperature is about 72 degrees. And the tank they came from is about 76 degrees. So several degrees difference in the temperature. So we're just going to let the guys acclimate here a little bit longer and then we're going to let them into their new home. I've just moved the snowballs over to this tank last night. There's several down here by the wood. Couple here in the moss. And there's another one coming out there. Going over to the cholla wood. And there's a buried female back in the back. Let's see if I can get her back there. But when I moved them, I found about 3 of these snowballs that were buried. So hopefully I'm going to have quite a few shrimplets here in another couple of weeks maybe. And there you can get a little view of her. You can see she's buried. So, but they seem to be doing well, acclimating to this tank well. So I'm happy about that. Just wanted to kind of give you an update on these guys. And then I have this tank set up that I've got some new shrimp coming for. So I've got some new shrimp I'm adding to the collection here that'll be going into this tank. So just kind of wanted to share a little bit with you guys on another little shrimp update, my shrimp expansion so to speak. I've decided I want to try to have more shrimplets, so I'm going to separate them out like this and take them away from the guppies so that maybe I'll get more shrimplets out of the deal. Alright guys, I set up a tank here, 2 tanks actually. I separated out the Blue Dream, as you can see in this tank here. Several of them swimming around here towards the front, happy and healthy. was a part of this shrimp project. I separated out the blue dream and the black rose. This side is the blue dream. I have several, I think I had about 20 of each, maybe, shrimplets in this tank. And then in the tank right next to it, I have the black rose. There's one right there. And there's one here. These are still tiny little guys here. Let's see one of the snails I have there. There's another one coming into the picture. But these guys have all been acclimating really well. They seem to be happy and things seems to be fine with them. So as they get larger, may have some culls out of this tank. Black rose typically throw out some different colors, so I may have some that I have to cull out, but just gonna let them grow up a little bit more before I do that. Be easier to see their colors and after they color up more. But there's quite a few in the tank, all back to the back there. So say there was about 20 of each, but of course you don't see that many of them. Back over here to the blue dream. Really pleased with the shrimplets of the blue dream, especially. They were really a deep blue, and I was really happy about that, the coloring on these guys. The black rose mom for some reason jumped out of the tank before I moved them. I found her when I was moving them to the separate tanks, and unfortunately she had jumped out and died, and I didn't realize it. But the blue dream mom is still here in the tank with these guys. So thanks for watching, guys. Come back again for another video.